Hello there, men, and welcome to the Masculinism Movement channel, a place for men to be men and to talk about masculinity and men's rights and issues. I'm your host, Brian Krall, and today we are going to be talking about the sacred masculine archetype. This is actually part one in a series on this topic, and this part will be on the subtopic of the Yang archetype, or Yang, the part of the Yin and Yang in Chinese. You might not have heard about the sacred masculine archetype before. However, between feminism and the New Age movement, there has been a lot of propaganda about the sacred feminine. You might have heard of that, but yet you never hear any mention of the sacred masculine, do you? No, of course not. Because their narrative is woman good, men bad. So, of course, women are sacred and men are not. But the sacred masculine is actually a thing. And in fact, in Yin and Yang theory, it is women who are part of the negative, bad archetype, and men are part of the good and positive. So today I want to start a series of discourses on the sacred masculine archetypes and all of the positive spiritual masculine symbology that we men have in our masculine mythos and worldview, informing and inspiring who we are as a gender, and that masculinity is just as sacred as femininity, if not more. That it is a divine thing, a very spiritual thing, a source of positive energy, values, virtues, and wisdom. That masculinity is both a spiritual archetype and a character archetype, as well as a symbology with many significant meanings. It is a multi-dimensional, multifaceted thing. So in this series, we are going to explore this concept of the sacred masculine archetype and its myriad of faces and various symbols, concepts, philosophies, doctrines, figures, and other aspects. For masculinity is not inherently toxic. It is inherently good, and it is not to be ignored. It is important. And since women are such shallow creatures, there's actually much more to the sacred masculine than there is to the so-called sacred feminine that New Age feminists like to talk about. So let's take a deep dive into the concept of the sacred masculine, see how much there is to uncover. If you're enjoying listening to what I have to say, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you feel I'm adding value to your life, you can also tip me at the PayPal link below in proportion to the amount of value added. Your support will help me be able to continue this work because the oppressive fascists at YouTube are against this kind of content and actively trying to suppress it. So it is only with the help of viewers like you that I'll be able to keep fighting the good fight against the evil fucking matriarchy. First, let us explore the sacred masculine archetype of the Yang archetype in Yin and Yang theory. This holds that there is duality and polarity in the universe, and basically two poles or sides that everything exists on. This is, of course, symbolized by the Yin and Yang symbol, which I'm sure you are familiar with. And on top, in the positive pole, is masculinity, light, heat, goodness, virtue, strength, power, happiness, and basically everything that you could classify as positive. And so, even in just one of the greatest, most widely known, most fundamental philosophies that the world has ever seen, the masculine archetype is regarded as full of goodness and positive attributes. And then if we follow this philosophy to delve deeper into Chinese cosmology, we can find that the universe comes from this principle or essential energy called the Tao, which is like nothingness. And numerologically, it can be classified as the number of zero. And then some consciousness that can be called God or whatever you want to call it, the collective unconscious, if you're more into Jungian psychology, created the universe, which is a state of overall oneness, corresponding thus to the number one. And then, due to its magnetic nature, the one polarized and formed the duality, or the two, yin and yang. And then beneath that, there is also a trinity, or three, which is called the Tomoe. And its symbol is three black orbs swirling around each other with their tails trailing behind, kind of like three commas. And the three things that make up the Tomoe Trinity are known as Father Heavens, a religious term for the sacred masculine, as well as the sky that we originally came from before we were seated here on earth. And then Mother Earth, the sacred feminine, which incubated and nurtured us and basically is like our mother. And then the child of the two, mankind. So you see, 2/3 of the Trinity in Taoist cosmology is masculine. Both Father Heavens and Sky, and mankind. Remember, it's mankind, not womankind. Thus, I would say that masculinity has a very auspicious position in Taoism and Chinese philosophy and shows great and positive spiritual significance, as well as a prominence and dominance over the feminine. Now, let's move away from China, because other great nations have also had philosophies and religions with a sacred masculine archetype as well. That concludes this video. Thanks for listening. I hope I mansplained that good enough for you. If you like what you heard, please click the like button. And if you feel you gained some value from this video and would like to give some back, please do so with the PayPal link below, because your support helps fund me doing this work and fight the good fight for men like you. If you are ready to take the red pill and wake up from the matrix, well then, I have the perfect book for you. The Bible of Esoteric Knowledge is a super concise, dense, info-packed philosophy textbook, written in the same verse format as the Bible, but combining multiple different, highly esoteric philosophies such as Taoism, Hinduism, Buddhism, shamanism, ancient paganism, and a special balance between theoretical physics and metaphysics, along with some special bonus info on the cryptic secrets of sexuality and death. This book will stimulate your intellectual philosopher's mind like no other, especially since it's a lot shorter and easier to read than most philosophy books made up entirely of run-on sentences and never-ending paragraphs, and, can be quite boring and exhaustive. Full of all the most fascinating mystical secrets of the universe, gratify your inner geek and quench your thirst for meaning with the Bible of Esoteric Knowledge. Get your copy at the link below for a special sale price today. Enlightenment has never been so easy.